Hey guys, Centurion here, and today we've got a different type of video. I'm going to be going over, basically asking you guys, well, basically giving my point of view, whether Daisy is worth getting if you haven't got it in 2023. Now, this idea of type of video I saw like a good few months back, and I just want to get my say on it purely because, I've pretty much spent the last 2 years playing this game. And, well, it's always good to obviously hear another opinion, and especially from someone who plays console, because a lot of these I see are mainly PC players, and I just want to say, well, is it worth it? So, I'm going to go ahead and I'll give you my basically input in this. I'm also going to go credit the person I saw by the name of Always Streams. I saw this video 5 months ago, so go watch his, and I'm going to link it in the description. On top of that as well, I'm going to also include three aspects of how I'm going to go about this. So community, as well as gameplay, and also obviously the entirety, like how console updates and so on. So I'll include that towards the end. Now, gameplay is something that Daisy does really well. And if you're not a big fan of obviously going ahead and running about and having to scavenge for stuff, then this is your type of game. I think you'll be more suited to like Battlefield, Modern Warfare, or something. You know, something like Call of Duties or first-person shooters. Daisy basically has you if you're gonna play a survival game, exactly what you expect. You have to go ahead, loot stuff, scavenge for food, scavenge for obviously try and get water, medical supplies, all this stuff. You can build a base and all that. However, when one thing you need to worry about is at the moment when it comes to stuff like running and gunning, you can't obviously slide stuff like that. You basically are stuck to what your body can physically do. Obviously, you can go ahead and slide in real life, like score the goal. Cristiano Ronaldo goes ahead on his knee, slides or some shit. This you can't do that. So the mechanics in terms of that is quite limited. But when it comes to having you, say like you broke a leg, obviously you'll be limping. If you're really hurt, you'll be limping or walking slowly. Running, you're out of breath, you can't do stuff like that. If you're too heavy, you're carrying too much stuff, you'll be slower. You can't run as fast. Your agility is affected. All this stuff, right? Everything is hyper realistic, and especially when 1.2 releases on the 14th, that will be impacted more when water. If it's raining, you get heavier because you're more damp, you carry more weight. Now, when it comes to obviously on this side of things, when it comes to weapons and stuff, obviously you are obviously affected by weight of what you're carrying and stuff like that. Especially if you're wounded, like I said, and you take a hit, you'll get knocked out. Especially if it's a bad hit, obviously for your weight Winchester because of different calibers, you'll be knocked out. Obviously, death obviously is one thing you have to be worried about. Now, the gameplay comes from obviously the Armor 2 and Armor 3 games because the engine that Daisy runs on is similar to, well, it's the Armor 3 engine, but it's running on the Armor 2 maps, if you get what I mean. Because this game was originally designed when Armor 2 was released as a mod, so it's running on the Armor 2 systems. Obviously, you can play the Armor 3 maps because you can get mods on PC, which is great. Obviously, you're going to expect that from PC with mods and adding different stuff and making it change. As well as when it comes to the console side as well, you can obviously edit maps and stuff, which is great. If you're a big fan of map editing, this will be perfect for you because you can do all of that with Dayz. However, you will need a PC, and if you don't have a PC and you're on Xbox, then you'll be limited to vanilla stuff. Now, one thing about gameplay wise that Daisy obviously could do with improving on, and this is why I'm making this video. When it comes to the gameplay aspect, you need to be careful with what you do. Because there's a lot of people out there who spent tens of thousands of hours, if not spent the last week on probably about 120 hours of the 144 or so or 148 that's in that week or whatever the fuck. I'm not here to do mathematics. you will be definitely outgunned. Skill definitely comes as a factor in this game, especially with experience, because new players have to get used to everything in DayZ, especially when it comes to bandaging, what medication you need to get rid of an illness, what food you can eat, why can you not use this thing? Maybe is it ruined? Is it badly damaged? How do I repair it? Stuff like that. So when it comes, if you're going to play DayZ, it's 100% recommended you go ahead and maybe watch some creators so you can get a good idea on how you play it. Especially if you play Rust, you're gonna go watch maybe Rust tutorials, watch a good DayZ tutorial. There's hundreds out there you can watch, and especially I believe Always Streams has done one of those as well, and I know quite a lot of the creators have. So if you need to do that, I would 100% recommend you doing so. Now, before I get carried away, let's go ahead and quickly jump over to the community side. Now, the DayZ community. Well, to be fair, it's a bit unusual. Now, the community aspects of things, I can divide it into two factors. You've got the game, you've got the servers. You've got the community servers, which are community run, and then obviously you got your vanilla servers, which is owned by Bohemia, and obviously it's server hosting teams. So obviously Nitrado is one of them. Now, when it comes to the community, it is a bit like a unicorn. You get the rarity, which is going to be decide which is a bit smooth brain. You've always got your bit of drama, like every other game, and now you've also got your normal people in the community who are just there to play the game. And you've also got the DayZ server pioneers. Now these guys own servers, and they can own tens of servers, maybe hundreds of servers if they're really fancying it. And they could be making a nice amount from it to keep the servers going by the community, and obviously have a wonderful community base around them. And then you've got the drama side of that, which I'm not going to get into, but there's always going to be drama within a game. It always is going to be. You've always got a game drama in other games, and DayZ is no different. Now, when it comes to the community side, you're obviously going to get your toxic lot who play the game to prove they're the best and obviously chat shit to people, because you're going to get that in pretty much most games, especially in Call of Duties where people just curse at each other, and you get the funny stuff. And you're going to get that 100% in DayZ, because people are just not, obviously, some of them are just there just to chat shit. And then you get the wonderful side of the community, which are people who play with other people, want to team up with other people, build a fucking sick ass base on the cliffs or something, and just have a fun time. They're the casual gamers. And to be fair, I kind of like it, because whenever a guy who is just to raid people when they're offline and chat shit about it, there's going to be those people in the community who just say, I've had enough of your shit, we're going to go out and get you. And I find that absolutely class. It always something keeps going within the community. Now, some people be thinking like, why is that good? Why do you like that? What's the point? I purely like it for the fact that there's always something to do. And if you're running with a faction or a small group, you're going to be enjoying this, and you're going to see this a lot. Yes, you may have the time where you get a bad spell and you just keep dying to this guy or whatever, but in the end, you're going to pick yourself up with your team and you're just going to go absolute apeshit on them. And that's one thing I like about the game. And in terms of community side, when it comes to servers, you got a lot of good server owners out there, and it's just about finding the one you like. Now, these community servers I'm talking about are tailored to a specific type of person. You're going to get the PvP servers out there, which are just purely for guys who like to run around, PvP, build base, raid, and all that stuff. That's fine. But you also get the servers out there, which are PvE servers, which is people can sit back, relax, go out there, kill zombies, hunt bears, hunt elk, sit around a campfire, sing a campfire song, and basically enjoy themselves on the game, because DayZ can do that. You can go out there and just purely go out there to kill zombies and kill other zombies and kill animals and try and survive the best you can without dying to these zombies and so on. You get these roleplay servers, which are basically just glorified PvP servers, where you have rules and specific rules for those rules to make sure you can't shoot someone unless you're provoked or something. Like, I'm not really one for the RP servers. I like going out there, base raiding, PvPing, maybe the odd time having some PvE, sitting on a campfire on the hill, cooking away at some deer meat with venison. That, yeah. And also just building a base. Because building a base in the server, especially in servers, especially when you've got the good servers and you got a decent, you can get decent building supplies and go ahead and build the biggest base you want. Power to it, because I love it. I love the idea of base building. Now, when it comes to other servers, you've got RP, like I've said, you've got PvE, like I've said, you've got PvP, like I've said, you've also got faction servers. If you play on Xbox, you're going to come across some of these, especially mainly console, where you get servers such as Conquest and Battlefield, which are both. Battlefield is a server, don't you worry about that. Where it's two big factions fighting against each other. You have specific spawns, you have to take flags, and you basically go ahead and conquer the map. And these servers are heavily modded. There's stuff out there where you can, obviously, it's different. Now, when I say heavily modded, this takes me to another server type. You've got the hardcore servers, which are basically just vanilla servers on steroids. And these servers go ahead and take a new level of vanilla server and smashes it in your face as hard as you can to make it as difficult as possible. Now, all of the hardcore servers, if you haven't played for long, you're going to struggle with, because these servers are just like tenfold. Like, finding food is like trying to find Thor's hammer, and I can tell you now, Thor's hammer isn't real. Finding food is a similar aspect. It's going to be a tough one, so you better be prepared if you're going to play a hardcore server. So I would 100% try out normal servers first, get a hand of spawns and stuff like that before you play these. But I'm obviously not going to discourage it. If you want to go ahead and just give yourself a challenge straight off the bat, power to you. You just got to be careful what you do. Now, what I'm going to do in the description is, if you're new to the game and you want to go ahead and play the game, I'm going to link Enclave Discord in the description. Enclave is basically something, a server on Discord where you can go ahead and join and run through and see where your favorite servers, and basically find a server that you want to play. So I'm going to go ahead and link it in the description so you guys can go ahead and check it out if you haven't and are new to the game. Now, that's enough of community side. Let me go ahead and explain the final point. The final point being now, I'm going to be brutally honest with the developer update side of things, purely because sometimes I think the Dayz dev team aren't focusing on the right things. So, for the past few updates, we've had an issue a lot with, obviously, bugs and stuff that need to be fixed. And I tell you now, if I was to show you the old stuff for driving vehicles in this game, you would think I'm on crack and that I'm bullshitting. And honestly, I wish I was. It used to be really bad, and they fixed it somewhat in 1.19, but it's a debatable topic to really talk about. It's not the greatest. It's still a bit buggy, and they still need to, do some fixes on it. And well, and up to 1.2, which is going to be coming out, like I said, on the 14th, so 4 days from now of this video going live. There was something which was the ADS bug, and the ADS bug is something where you aim in, but you're technically not aiming in, and it doesn't let you shoot, so you're basically going to die in a PvP situation, and that shit is honestly a piss take. And fortunately enough, 1.2 is going to be fixing a lot of ADS bugs and bugs within the game, but we're not going to be too sure on that because there's always something coming out every update. And that's the way the game development world works, to be totally honest. However, the community is very active in the sense of requesting stuff that Beam to fix to get it fixed. Sometimes they're not going to focus on that. Sometimes they'll go ahead and try and fix it with other stuff or pump out more content. And that's one thing Bohemia does very well. You're looking every maybe 2 months, they're going to come out with a new update, maybe every 3 months, depending on the timeline, because they do drop a timeline each year for the year's plan going forward and when they're planning to drop an update and so on. And to be fair to Bohemia, they are very good at dropping updates. Sometimes it's a bit shit, I'm not going to lie, 1.2 is that a bit of cosmetic items when it comes to carnival masks. I don't think anyone wants a carnival mask, to be honest with you. I think more people are looking for different clothing, a bit more armor types, or changing helmets, or something different. Maybe a new type of clothing. So there's a lot of clothing in the files they can add, or they could go ahead and reskin, reproduce, and bring out some different items. Because a lot of the items currently in game has been there for maybe years. Recently, we got the Hunter vest, and that was around 1.17, I believe. And to be fair, it's a bit shit. In 1.18 or 19, we got the plate carriers, and that was a change from the typical tan carrier. However, that's the only cosmetic, well, good cosmetic item we've got for a good while. And if Bohemia is watching this video, please add some more. Now, I'm I'm not going to be too harsh on the development because I know how tough development can be for games. I've tried it myself when it just comes to basic coding on a fucking 2D game, and it's hard. It's very hard. Now, a lot of people give Bohemia stick for obviously being developers, and bear in mind, Bohemia Interactive is a small development team. They're not a A plus studio or AAA studio where they have hundreds of people working on this game. I believe there's only about maybe 70 or 80 working on Dayz, and they've got multiple other games just like Activision or other AAA games, but where they've got Armour, Scum, Dayz, and I'm pretty sure Vigor as well. They've got 4 games to work around, and to be fair to them, they're doing a very good job. However, they're just working on the wrong things. Now, I'm not going to go ahead and stick it to them. It's not my job. I would love the game, and hopefully, just by watching this video, you may have learned something about Dayz. And in my opinion, if you're new, I always recommend people to try Dayz and play Dayz. I recently got my brother to play Dayz, and he's been playing it pretty much on and off for a long while now. He enjoys the game, and he also chose to create some content on it, which is cool. However, I'll let you guys decide.